I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for today's live, so I'm just going to answer some questions really quick. And I also want to correct the record on a few things because I've noticed some stuff popping up in the comments that we need to talk about. So as we dive into this, I just want to remind everyone, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a social worker, I'm not a credentialed expert of any kind. I've just been researching low-income assistance programs for over 10 years. And all of the answers that I'm going to give here today are according to my best knowledge and experience. And we are going to cover a lot of different things because we get a lot of questions here at Low Income Relief. So let's dive right in. So first, we've been getting a ton of questions and comments about our recent video about maximizing your SNAP benefits. A lot of you have been asking about Double Up Food Bucks, and Leslie asked a great question. What exactly is Double Up Food Bucks? And I know we didn't have time to cover this in that short, but Double Up Food Bucks is essentially a way to get more fruits and veggies for your money. It's designed to help people who use SNAP benefits or SFMNP vouchers get more food, basically. So in order to use it, you have to shop at a participating retailer. Usually those are going to be your farmers markets, farm stands, CSA programs, or grocery stores. When you spend your SNAP dollars at a participating location, you get a matching amount in Double Up Food Bucks to spend. So if you spend $20, they'll give you an extra $20 so that you get $40 in food. It's like a buy one, get one free deal for healthy food purchases. Now at grocery stores, it's usually a little different. You'll usually get like a discount at the cash register when you swipe your EBT card, or maybe you'll get a coupon for a certain amount of free produce with your next purchase. Each area handles it a little differently, but usually it's a dollar for dollar match up to a certain amount. Now, we've heard from a lot of people who said that this program wasn't available in their area, even though I recently fact-checked the list and I know for a fact that it is in their areas. And most of the time this happens because the program isn't called Double Up Food Bucks everywhere. Double Up Food Bucks is like the big organization that does it nationwide, but there's also smaller local ones like Market Match, Fresh Bucks, Dubucks. These are all variations of similar programs that essentially do the very same thing. I think there's like 6 different versions of this program in California that all have different names too. So some states have multiple programs doing the same thing. I tend to just say Double Up Food Bucks because it's the one that most of you are going to recognize. It's the biggest nationwide group doing this. But there are tons of local programs that are doing the same thing no matter what they're called. And you can find the full list of all of those at lirlinks.com/doubleup. Sorry, my notes are getting ahead of me today. All right. A user named Cyan said that they aren't sure how to spend their $23 a month in food benefits because it just isn't enough. And I'm so sorry you're in that situation. It is so frustrating. If you have a Double Up location near you, you can turn that $23 into $46 pretty easily, but I know that doesn't fully solve the problem because even $46 isn't enough for a month's worth of groceries. So in that situation, here's what I would do. Contact your local food bank first, and then call your area agency on aging to ask about the Senior Commodity Supplemental Food Program. This program can provide you an additional free food box, and they help low-income seniors who are over the age of 60. This can help supplement your food budget. So once you see what you're getting from your food bank and from this food box, then you can fill in the gaps with your SNAP benefits and help stretch those meals farther. I also recommend checking out our other videos on how you can get free food. We've done a lot of videos on that topic, and we have found a lot of resources over the years that can help you. Path asked, I have a question about my car repairs. I found out there was a recall in 2022, but that is expired. For the repairs, I now have to pay $5,000 that I cannot afford. Is there anything I can do now to get Toyota to repair my car? It is tough when a needed repair pops up, especially a pricey one that you find out was linked to a recall that you missed. That really hurts. So while recalls usually have a set time frame, it's not always a hard no afterwards. Toyota, strictly speaking, doesn't have to help you, but it never hurts to ask. I would call their customer service line, explain the situation in detail, and basically ask for leniency. They may have some sort of leeway or program that can help you. Ultimately, you'll never know unless you ask, so I would at least ask. And if that fails, there are different organizations that can help you repair your car, and we have a full list of that on our website as well. So Angelica asked if there's any help for people getting out of prison, and the answer to that is yes, absolutely. There are many organizations that help people in this situation. A lot of them are very local though, so you're going to want to call 211 and ask about any re-entry programs in your area. That's what they're usually called, is re-entry. There are some great ones. My favorite one is First 72 in New Orleans. They do some incredible work for people who are re-entering society after incarceration. These programs, like I said, though, are usually pretty local, so I would recommend calling 211 to find those. Your local DSHS or Community Action Council may be able to help you as well. Donna asked if you have to pay grants back, and the answer to that is no. If someone tells you that you have to pay it back, they're talking about a loan and not a grant. Be very careful. There's a lot of grant scams out there. Another user also asked what they can do to get help with internet now that ACP has ended. There has been a lot of confusion about this. The Lifeline program does still exist and can help you with your internet bills. In fact, there's a ton of internet providers out there that are offering discounted plans for low-income customers who were getting ACP. You can get the list at lowincomerelief.com/internet if you need to find one of those. Now, we also got a lot of different questions about different states. Nicole asked if there was anything in Virginia. Maya asked if there was anything for Connecticut, and so on. We don't always find updates for each state every week. We just go over the headlines. But you can always discover everything we've ever found in your area by searching the website at lowincomerelief.com. I know it's not as convenient, but it's a lot easier for us to update the website than to make a whole YouTube video. So I always recommend checking the website for details because there is a lot more information there on a lot of different topics. Now, Deborah asked if there is any help for seniors with cancer, and again, that answer is yes. We have found a ton of different organizations that offer grants and extra support for people who are battling different types of cancer. We have all of that information on our website, who have certain conditions or disabilities or types of cancer as well. And again, we have all of that information on the website as well. We're going to have a lot of links down below today, I think. All right. So Lydia asked why age 54 isn't considered a senior. That's an interesting question because it really depends on who you ask. The definition of senior can be a bit tricky because it varies depending on who you're talking to. There is no single universally agreed upon age that makes someone a senior. So sometimes the low income programs just kind of pick a number. Usually it's going to be 55, 60, 62. Sometimes it'll even be 65. It just depends on how that program chooses to define it. And honestly, I think the reason that they choose those thresholds usually comes down to funding. If they have a higher age, I think it's because they can't serve as many people with the funding that they have. And I know that's frustrating and inconsistent, and I am so sorry for that confusion. Now, Carrie asked if you can use cash benefits for pet supplies. The answer to that is usually yes. You can usually use cash benefits to buy pet supplies. You cannot use SNAP for it, though. SNAP is food benefits. That should not be used for pet supplies. And again, those cash benefit rules can depend on where you're living. Sometimes states do weird things, but usually the answer to that is going to be yes. All right, somebody else asked us when summer EBT pays out. It's going to pay $120 per child per summer, but the delivery date is going to depend on where you live. Some states have already sent it, some sent it back in June, some sent it this month. Others aren't sending it until September, which is so unhelpful. I know that that's really frustrating. We have the full schedule at lowincomerelief.com/summer EBT if you want to go check that out. We've been trying to maintain and monitor which states are doing it when, and even some of the ones that said they were doing it earlier have had delays, and it's just a mess, and I'm sorry about that. Stephanie asked about help with home repair. We're working on updating our home repair list, but you can find what we currently have assembled at lowincomerelief.com/free-home-repair-grants. You can also try calling 211, reach out to your local community action agency or Habitat for Humanity. I also recommend calling your local town hall or city hall because sometimes they have funds available. When you call them, you don't usually want to ask about home repair. You want to use the word home rehabilitation. That's usually what those programs are going to be called. Now, Patricia asked about getting help with paying her mortgage payments. Depending on your situation and where you live, you may qualify for some government programs that can help with that. Many states offer a homeowner assistance fund that can offer financial assistance to homeowners facing hardship. Those are usually only open during certain times of the year and they fill up fast. You can also reach out to your mortgage servicer to discuss options like loan modifications or forbearance. Additionally, you usually can get help from a HUD-approved housing counselor, which could provide free or low-cost guidance and support if you're having a hard time making those payments. There are some churches and charities that can help with mortgage payments. They're usually more skewed toward wet renters, but if you go to our rent relief list at lowincomerelief.com/rent-relief and you contact those providers on their list, they're already providing housing payments, and they may be able to help you with your mortgage as well. Usually you'll see things on there like Catholic Charities, Salvation Army, Area Agency on Aging, that sort of thing. Calling 211 is always a good idea too. And remember, don't hesitate to seek help as soon as you anticipate having a difficulty, because the sooner you act, the more options you'll have. Okay, so that is all the time that I had for today. And if you have more questions, please just drop those in the comments. I know I'm not always the greatest at responding in the comments, but I'm going to try to incorporate more Q&As into our lives. But again, I like to have time to research it and make sure I'm giving you the best possible answer. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out last week's video for our recently fact-checked list of hardship grants, which I know are very, very helpful, and I will see you then.